All right, today's demo, we are going to perform duplicate database from rman backup. The system we are using, it is Oracle 19C, okay? So those 19C, okay. So for Oracle 12C, 18C, and can also use the same approach. So why we need a duplicate database from rman backup? So in the real world, so typically from time to time, we may need to perform such tasks. Let's see, we may want to restore the database from a rman backup, or use another term called in the Oracle world called clone a database or duplicate database based on a given backup, and restore it or duplicate to a new database or refresh an existing database on another server. Although in Oracle, you can duplicate from active database, but it is not always the case. Let me give you a few examples. Like, for example, you have one database on the prod, you have another in the another domain, for example, development or maybe QA. So you may have firewall between them. You cannot use active, or another thing, maybe business prevent you to directly do the live clone from production to another environment. Okay, so that is sometimes you need ship the backup from one server to another and then perform, not from the active database. You need restore from backups, okay, or duplicate from backups. For Oracle, it is quite complicated compared to SQL Server and the DB2. DB2 SQL Server, you can back up a single database and restore in another without other things, we will see shortly. Also, sometimes you may need to restore old backups, for example, for troubleshooting or retrieving some old data, For example, you have production database, you have regular backups, and then on the disk, and then backup those to storage area, even on the cloud. So at the time you need, you can retrieve from those storage area and restore. Okay, that is another situation. And also, you probably also have a kind of regular refresh from one database to another. So you need to get from the backup. So every day you have backups on one server, and then you ship to another server and schedule schedule job to do the restore. So there's various situation depends on how your environment, but typically this is the typical activity we will need to perform, and also for verify if your backup is good. So all the big kinds of business need, we will use the backup to perform such task. Okay, as I said here, sometimes you don't want impact your production during business hours, so that is why you also can use existing backups to clone a database. Okay. All right, so that is the basically diagram. So we will use the demo system to get started. So in this demo system, I have a server name called 08. This is our source database or instance. So I have another server called R8. So that is our target. Basically, we're gonna back up this database and put on the disk. Then we'll transfer those backups to the source target database. We're gonna use SCP because this is just a one method to transfer the files from one server to another. Once we transfer those files on the target, then we're going to do the use rman duplicate to create this new database. So the new database name or instance name, I just call it cdbr8 to easily identify it's on this server. This is the existing server. So, and we have like a root container. So we have a root container. We have a PDB seeds, okay? PDB seeds and another database. So another PDB, okay? PDB. Okay, so this is the example system, database system we use for this demo. So we're gonna clone this one on a new server with the different instance name and different database name. Okay, so let's get started. So this is the two server I already connected. On the top screen, this light blue, this is the server name called 08. That is our source, okay? And the target, that is our target server, the name is R8. They both Oracle Linux. So let's take a quick look. So I have a database running. Let's see. All right, so let me start it. It's maybe not started yet. Okay, let me do a db08. Let me just start it. Okay. Probably I rebooted the box, so this not started yet. Okay. So let me get. Oh yeah, let me start this startup. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the procedure we're going to use. Okay. So it's very simple. As basically in this short document, I basically say these are three simple steps. So basically, step one, we need to identify where the backup location is because we needed to know where to get these backups. Is this on disk, a file server, storage, or tape? Okay. And then transfer those backups on the server, that is the target server going to perform this duplication. For Oracle, we also need something like the source database SID, the init.aura. It's not absolute necessary, but in this demo, I just to keep it simple, because otherwise you have to restore from the backups, restore control file, parameter file, those things. So, and also one more piece of information we're going to need. It's called let me see. We also need another piece of information. It's called a file location. Okay, file location. Where the data file is, because on the new server we probably have different file structure, so we need those kind of information. Okay, let me let's see. So we basically need the three information: the backups, the source database init.aura file, and also the file location information. Okay, so we got this first. Okay, so location information. So we need these three things. Okay, the 1A and 1B, these are not necessary, absolutely necessary as option, but for keep things simple, I just listed here. So that is so on the source database. I already had a backup. So let's see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a P file. Okay, so we're going to create a P file from SP file. Okay, so we're going to use this P file. Okay, to do for the duplication. Okay, so the file created. So let's go to the location. Okay, so the P file location and SP file location, by default, it is in the Oracle Home DBS. Okay, we need to go to CD there. Okay, let's CD to Oracle Home DBS. All right. So you see, this is the file we just copied. So the ORCL CDB, that is the instance name. If we do early, we will try to see pmon. You see, so you will see the pmon process. You see, it's ORCL CLD. Okay, the database is name, or the container, the root container name is the database name is same as this one. Okay, so let me go back to SQL Plus. I also get to the information of the CDB, PDB information. Okay, so if you show PDBs, so this is our Delaware system. We have a PDB-C and also another database called ORCL PDB-1. Okay, this is the sample database created using the Oracle sample database. Okay, so let's get the file location information, like log file. So if you do a from without a log file, right? So you will see the file location information. So basically, so this is where the file, okay, the database file location. So let me make a note here. So we know the log file and also the data file, temp file in this location. Okay. So let's do one more query. So let's just also see the data file. I think you can see it. It's a long output, but you will see, yeah, it is also in this location. So basically, log and data files are in the same location. I just make a note of it. Okay. So as far as the database, we can just back up. We can just do rman and then run backup. But as I said, we're gonna use the existing one. So let me see. So I already have a backup set performed. So this is the backup set, the rman backup performed previously. So we're gonna use these backups, for our duplication. Okay, so we will not do the create another backup. So for step one, we already get the information we need, right? So we identified the backup location. It is on the disk. It's on the old the source database server. So now we're gonna do the transfer. Okay. So let me switch the window. So let's see Kit. So this is the same file. Okay. So let me save this one. Okay. So on the targeted server, so I already transferred the file. I've transferred into a location called the staging. Okay. So this is the backup. I transferred use SCP SFTP from the source location. Okay. So you will see, if you see the timestamp, it's the same. Okay. Not timestamp. This the size. Yeah, timestamp look like it's a little bit different. Yeah. Yeah, probably because it's two machine, the time it's maybe off a little bit. So, but anyway, so that is the data the backups. So at this moment, so we basically accomplish the task number one. Okay, so we not yet. We still have need two more things. Okay, so we know where the backup is and we transferred. As I said, doesn't matter where the backup is, as long as you can transfer to your target server. To that's all you need. Okay, so we accomplished to already transferred. It take about a small database, sample database, take about 2 minutes. So to save time, I just already transferred. Okay. We also have this init.rr file being created. We also gathered the file location. So let's see. I also need this file. So so this is step 2. So let's get this file as well. So we know. Let me just do a SCP. So we know it is on the 08 server, right? So it is in the location. Let me just use absolute path in my case. Okay. Oracle. I think it's 19C and DBS. So it's going to be init.orcl cdb, okay, .org. I believe that is the source. Let's see. Let me see where it is. Okay, give me a sec. That should be the 19C. Okay, let me see the location. Okay, let's see. Let me get the Oracle home location on the source. Okay. So on the source, it is actually this one. So let me just key in, okay? So the source server is opt oracle product, okay? Product and the db home one. Okay, let's see, product db home one, okay? All right, so we get this init.aura. So for this init.aura, we needed to make a change because, as I said, on the new server, we're going to create let's take a look at on the target server. So on the target server, we're going to we need to make some change. Okay, so we're going to change the so we're going to change the SID to a different. So you can use the same, but most likely in the real world, you're going to use a different one. So we're going to just, for simplicity, I'm going to call it a CDB R8, okay? So this is my new instance name. So let's check again. So our environment, it is Oracle SID is this one, CDBR8, Oracle base, Oracle home, or Oracle instance, okay? So if you do a ps minus ef, there's nothing running at this moment. Okay. So let's make a change to this init.oro file. Okay. So because on the new system we decided to change the Oracle instance name, I'm going to rename this to or reflect the instance name change. Okay, I'm going to call it CDB-R8. You don't have to, but it's just default. Okay, it's easy. Okay, so then we're going to do edit. Okay, so edit this file. So let's see, we're going to change all the things with the source database or instance name, because sometimes it's mixed. The instance name and also database name, in our case, it's the same, okay? So we're going to change, we do a global change CDBR8. Okay, so we changed this one. And also, let's see, we're going to just keep this on the same location, okay? OPT Oracle, then with the CDB. This is the control file. As I said, in the step 2, we make modifications. So we change the file name, we change the instance name, the database name. So we also need because global change, which Oracle, the audit location change, control file changed, and also we may also want to change the file name conversion, okay? Convert, not conversion. So we see shortly, okay? So this is the database file is changed. Yeah, so you may also need to change this local listener, depends on your situation. If you see this init.org file for the source, actually the source database, it is a data guard, you see. Some of you can remove because, but it doesn't hurt, so I just leave it as it is, okay? So, and that is the change we did. We just did a global change. I don't think we may have something else we need to change, but so far so good. So I'm gonna exit, okay, save it. But we do need this location to be created, okay? So let me go back to this file and make a note, okay? So for the file location, audit location, create the directory, okay? To hold the audit directory. So I'm gonna save it. So let's see, make a directory, okay? So CSS says no because this leading directory is not there. So we're gonna use -p to create the intermediate directory. So we create a directory hosted the audit file. And also, as I said, the possible file name conversion, because as we query the log $v view, as we see in the source, in our case, it is in the default location. It's our data, okay? So, and everything is under the instance name or database unique name. So you see, this is all the data file, okay? So on the new system, we want to change this to a different location. If we don't, they will, restore into the same location. I mean the name, okay? So that is what we need to change this. Before I do that, let me use SQL+ to find the parameters we need to change, okay? So it's going to be let's show parameter convert. Okay, so there's two parameters. One is called log file name convert, another called db file convert. There's also a pdb file name convert. Okay, so we leave it as there. So let's go back via this data file, init.r file. So basically, we're gonna do adding these two. We want the file name to be converted. Okay, because we to duplicate to a different name. So the file name convert it is like this. So you basically you give the old path and the new path. Okay. So in our case, we're gonna call the cdbr8. Okay. cdbr8. So that's simple. So this is for the database name. So anything within the original under this directory, they will convert a different directory name we specify. So we also want the log file convert, same thing. So let's see, you see here. So anything right now here, once we restored on the target system, it's going to be everything under this location, okay, CDBR8 location. All right, so we finished this one. So now, as I said, to make simple, I just want everything in the default, okay? So I'm gonna move this into the DBS directory. So in this way, when we start the instance, we don't have to specify the location, okay? So I'm just going to move this to /opt Oracle product 19C. This is Oracle Home, right? And the DB Home 1. So we're going to move to in the DBS directory, okay? So in this way, when we start, they will read this init.r file. You don't have to specify like a p file equal the location, okay? All right, so the step 2 is finished. So let me go back to the text file so we can follow, okay? So step 2, it is the one is kind of not, I think it should can be simplified, but at this moment, if you see on the internet or the document, it's about the same thing. So anyway, we need to modify this init.r file. Okay. All right. So we done the step 2. Now we're gonna move to step 3. Step 3 actually very simple. So first you're gonna start no mount. Okay. So using the target SID. Okay. So we're gonna do SQL plus sysdba. So we're gonna start no mount. Okay. So if start no mount successful, that means the modification to the init.r file is good. Okay. Oh, it's good. So the database, the instance is started. Now we're going to launch this rman utility. Okay. So rman is we're gonna use the rman auxiliary. Okay. To similar to if you do a rman duplicate from active. Okay. So I think type error auxiliary. Okay. When you connect, you will see the CDB is not mounted. So they started, not mounted. Okay. Also, you see there's no like Oracle instance ID. Typically, when you connect, you will see the. So now it's ready. Okay. So we're going to just go ahead to run this command. So duplicate target database. So that is and 2. So we're gonna change the database name from the source to the target. So our target database name, as we see, we're gonna keep it, make it different. So original is ORCRCBDB. Now we change it to CDB R8. Okay. And next keyword is backup location. So the backup location is basically where you we staged. So this is the backup location. So we transferred to a location. So in the real world, of course, you may not use the stash temp. You may use a location have enough space, depends on your size of database. Okay. So the last is no file name check. So basically just says tell rman says you don't need to check the file name, because otherwise rman says, oh, you're going to use the same database name, I'm going to give you a warning. So what that means, because in the source database, say for example we called system01dbf, in the target we also call the same. Okay, so they will check, say, oh, you use the same database name. So that is what typically we're going to put a no file name check. So that's ready to go. Okay, so let's return. And it look like so far so good. So let's take it's a small database, take a few minutes to also, if you see this is find the backup database ID. So that is our source database. And if you're interested, you can read those log to see what is exactly the rman is doing. It's kind of fun to read those things, but it's gonna take some time to, and so I will let it run. You see here, now it is restore the data file. That is the root container. You see the CRB, they restored to this location. And later, after this, we will see this PDB seeds. And actually, just FYI, we actually, if you have a large database, you may not want to restore everything. You probably can pick, if you have like a few PDBs, you can pick like one or two, depends on your need. Okay, just FYI. But in general, as I said, this is really it's relative not easy as SQL Server. SQL Server is basically lift and ship. It's very simple. You just need a single database image. It contains everything you need to the restore. Similar for the DB2. And let me go back to the diagram. So let me explain why Oracle is complicated. Okay. So let's see. If we have, let's see, we have another database here. So let's see, we have another database. So let's see, P2. Okay, so we have another PDB called P2. If we want to only duplicate or clone P2 into a existing environment, it's difficult to do because it's not like SQL Server and the DB2. Each database can be like independent. You back it up and restore into another existing environment. For the Oracle, although this is a pluggable database, but you cannot do unplug it and transfer it to another site, right? Because unplug is going to causing outage. So in this case, if you want to transfer just a single database, the best bet you have to use this active clone from active database. That is another story. Just FYI, okay. This clone duplicate from backup, it's actually applied for the whole thing. May not be the whole thing. At least you need the root container, uh, the PDB seed, I think, and also other PDBs. And also you cannot simply put into existing environment. You have to replace this, okay? Or create a new one. Or another workaround, but I'm not going to mention, but it's even more complicated. Okay, so that is just FYI, but still, the main purpose for this demo, it is illustrate the backup duplicate database from rman backup. Okay, so there's a couple of on the internet, but I think mainly it is for the non-CDB Oracle database. So this demo is also including the keys for the CDB. Okay, so let me see. All right, it's actually finished. So you see, it's very clean. So everything successful. So that's good news. Okay, so let's go back to do some query. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the SQL Plus, right? So let's see, select name from $, database. So now you see our database name is called CDB R8. Okay, so let's also do a quick query. So let's see, $, recover, $recover file, something like that. DBA. I've forgotten the name. Recover, not a recovery, recover. Recover. Okay. So you see, there's nothing. Everything was restored successful, and let's also check the SID, PMON or SMON. So that is the. So this is the data. Of course, after this, you might also want to like some post activities. The listeners. Those kind of things. Set up the listeners and change, do the necessary change, because early in the init.org file, so also there's a parameter called local listener. You might check that as well. Also define the TNS, those kind of things. Yeah. Okay. It's a long video. So let me just check one more thing. So let's go back to SQL Plus. So also let's see the status of the PDBs. Okay. So PDBs we expect it is read write. Yeah, it's read write. So the PDB name is the same. We didn't change the PDB name. Okay, so change the PDB name is another story. But at this moment, the restore was successful, and this technology, it is useful. Okay, so because sometimes, especially old days, you may be provided a backup